So, I feel I need to talk about Sleepless and Ponyville for a second. I mean, it's not like I don't have any personal attachment to the character of Scootaloo or anything. No, not at all. I'm just gonna give you a disclaimer right now. It's 3 in the morning, I can't sleep, and I have no script written for this, so I apologize in advance for verbal clutter, because without a script, I'm pretty terrible at this stuff. But let's do it. I don't even think I'd even need a script, because I really don't have anything to complain about with this episode at all. I really, really enjoyed it. This is probably in my top 5 episodes of all time of this show, all things considered. It was just really, really well done. I think I speak for everyone when we've been waiting for this episode for a while. I went as far as to make a 70-page book starring Scootaloo because she didn't have an episode. And here we go, finally getting the spotlight that she's deserved for a long time now. I gotta wonder what Maddie Peters was like trying to actually have an entire episode's worth of dialogue to work with. But anyways, what did I think? It was great. It's funny because a lot of people have been telling me that they were thinking of my book the entire time that the episode was going on, and a lot of, again, like last week with Magic Duel, a lot of the beats that I'd come up with were pretty similar to what was going on in the episode. The past 2 weeks have kind of felt like, hey, look at this D-lister in the Brony community. He has some good ideas. Let's ape them. And I know that's not the case at all, obviously. But it's just a weird coincidence that back to back, the two characters I took some time to focus on have been featured in the show. Kind of weird. But this episode was awesome. Scootaloo and Rainbow Dash. If you've read Sisterhooves Slighted, you know that I really like the idea of those two characters together, and really, who doesn't? The fact that they finally get some screen time together and we're shown that Rainbow Dash isn't a complete jerk is great. A lot of people were calling me out in Sisterhood, saying that Rainbow Dash came off as too nice when she hugged Scootaloo and told her, that we can still be sisters even though we're not actually sisters. And I love the fact that this episode basically did the exact same thing. I always felt that Rainbow Dash would have some compassion for Scootaloo in that regard, because Rainbow Dash idolizes the Wonderbolts, just like Scootaloo idolizes Rainbow Dash. So Dash would understand that kind of looking up to someone and having a hero, and would sympathize with Scootaloo. Plus, of course, having a fan like that obviously plays into her ego. So it's kind of like a dual win-win for Dash. But Dash was great. Obviously, that hug scene was amazing. It really, you can put a picture of that next to the shot in my book, and it's kind of funny how they're pretty similar. Negatives? I usually nitpick in these videos. I have nothing to nitpick here. Even the fact that they made Rarity kind of just walk all over Sweetie Belle this entire episode. I kind of felt like it was in character for her, Rarity's so manipulative sometimes. And the fact that Sweetie Belle takes a card from her book and tries to manipulate her, guilt her into going on a camping trip, which is completely un-Rarity. She's just like, you're going to earn this one, child. You're going to earn this. And just totally messes with her the whole time. The fact that Sweetie Belle just took the whole thing in stride was great. Speaking of Sweetie Belle, the singing thing was great when she just finishes her 99 barrels of oats or whatever and just falls asleep. Was awesome. I don't really understand why she can't sing anymore. And in Bab's Seed, all of a sudden Scootaloo can sing, but hey, continuity is great, but hilarious gags are just as good. So that was pretty cool. Speaking of cool, Princess Luna did something. Who saw that coming? I certainly didn't. The ruler of the night and the chicken. I did not expect them both to be featured at the same time. But it happened, and Luna played a pretty interesting role here. All of a sudden, given this kind of dream invader kind of thing, my jaw literally dropped. But it was really cool, and I think the fanfic writers will have a field day with that one, both good and bad. But yeah, I'm trying to think of criticisms I have of this episode, and I really don't have any. We even had a little tidbit, a tiny little screenshot of Rare Jack, which I'm always a fan of. So, overall, this is definitely my favorite episode this season so far. Probably one of my favorite episodes of all time. It was great to kind of have my book be canonized almost. The fact that a lot of the plot points were the same. The way that, Scootaloo clings on to Rainbow Dash like a sister, wants her to be a sister, kind of breaks down and cries like, I wish you were my sister, the same way it happens at the end of Sisterhooves Slighted, and the way that Dash takes her flying, the same way it happens, well, the exact same way, pretty close to the way it happens in Sisterhooves, because in Sisterhooves, near the end of the book, Dash takes Scootaloo flying. And it was just interesting to see how they kind of worked. Like, the first thing, I usually wait for the 1080p rips to come out, whereas Paleo will watch the stream. So I'll get up late, I'll get on Skype, and Paleo, I was like, Paleo, how's the episode? Was it good? And he's like, your book came true. And I was like, oh man, I gotta see it now. So, yeah, this is hardly a critique because I really didn't find anything to critique with this. I definitely have some personal bias toward it because Sisterhooves Slighted was my first big project in the Brony community, and through that I met pretty much all of my friends that I currently have in the community now. So this was kind of like a really nice way of like bringing it almost full circle with the new episode being so close in tone to the big project that really got me started in this whole community. So overall, I rate this episode 9 out of 10. I really have nothing bad to say about it. It was great to finally have someone give Scootaloo her due. It was great to see her interact with Rainbow Dash, and I really hope they do more with that because those two could really have some interesting stuff going on. So, yeah, that's all I really got for this episode. So, thanks for entertaining me, I suppose.